J.K. Rowling is back in the news because she's never out of the news. Obviously, everyone knows that she is in a bitter feud with like a bunch of people on the internet because she said some mildly not offensive things a couple of years ago that have seemed to make her persona non grata amongst a large swath of the internet population. But millennials who don't live permanently online don't seem to care, as she still has very favorable ratings amongst millennials. But apparently, that has not stopped the likes of Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson from refusing to make the Cursed Child movie if she was going to be involved in the project. So then basically Warner Brothers said, we want to buy you out for the Harry Potter franchises. And she asked for like $9 billion, apparently. They didn't give an exact figure. I used the article listed from Fandom Wire that listed as 9.58 billion, and all they listed in all three of the articles talking about this essentially just said she asked for such an insane amount of money that they realized that they're just stuck with her.
Am I crazy to think that 9 billion isn't even that unreasonable?
For that, no, it's not.
No,
right?
Not really. Not when you think about what it makes. She like what I read was that every year she makes between 50 and 150 million dollars, no matter what, from the Harry Potter, from all things Harry Potter.
If you made like 5 good Harry Potter related movies, you'd probably get there.
Yeah,
like 10
probably.
million.
Yeah,
with merch.
Yeah,
with
really like Lizzo as Ron Weasley.
Yeah. And the funny thing about this is, it's like it's really weird that of course they don't mention Rupert Grint, who played Ron. Like he seems to seem like
no one cares about him because he's a ginger.
Exactly, and then
he's a race.
But the older actors, the
Persona
adults,
non grata.
the adult actors don't seem to care. They're like, look, people are allowed to have opinions that we disagree with. Fine. Also, Luna Lovegood, the actress who played Luna Lovegood.
Oh, what was her name?
Ivana Lynch.
Ivana Lynch.
I cannot believe I just remembered that off the top of my head.
Good job.
She basically said like at first she was on board, and now she's like, oh, maybe we should just let people have their opinions.
Well, she openly supported what J.K. Rowling has said, actually.
No,
like,
I'm saying, but before I thought at one point she said hesitant, and now she supports it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So all of this, she's making between $50 to $150 million per year off of the Harry Potter franchises, and they want to, now that they're rebooting it, they have to work with her. They don't have a choice. And that means that she gets she essentially has creative control over everything.
Otherwise, what would happen? She can look at this, they would George Lucas her. Yeah, basically, right?
What does that mean?
Which means that they would say, "Yeah, give us your treatments for what you think the franchise should be."
Yeah, we'd love your input,
and then he gives you the treatments, and then they say, "Psych," and they tear it up and they throw it away.
Yeah, and then all of the content related to this universe would be destroyed.
Yep. And then, of course, they would make like just out of spite, they'd make every character trans or something like that because Hollywood's full of vindictive douches.
We would get a Harry Potter multiverse that includes every supporting character or like spin-off character imaginable except for the main 3.
You 100% know that's why they want to buy it.
Yeah.
They want to make trans Harry Potter 100%.
But not just that, but it's like it's a rich universe, meaning that the Fantastic Beasts movies actually, the first one actually did very, very well.
I liked all of them. People were like, they're not as good. I was like, I liked all of them.
Well, they're definitely not as good as the regular movies. But also, like, you have more room to work with those now because there's no source material to base it off of. So they have tons of characters they could go off and write about. But it was Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe who seemed to have the biggest problem with working with her. Thoughts?
Well, Emma Watson is like, she's wokest of the woke. Daniel Radcliffe, wokest of the woke. I just saw like a video that he did with the Trevor Project where he interviewed trans teens or whatever, because they need to be seen and validated and heard, etc.
Yes.
He's like basically held hostage by the Trevor Project and doesn't seem to have much else going on in his career.
But they're saying that for J.K. Rowling, that millennials overwhelmingly still support her, and that's because I think that a lot of people don't realize that normal people don't care about all of these issues.
Honestly, J.K. Rowling is such a checkmate. Yeah. Because she was their default personality until the 2016 patch.
Yeah.
And so it's really a conflict of interest.
Well, they still have Stephen King.
No, but no one, I mean...
Nobody wants to be stuck with Stephen King.
He made nothing nearly as iconic.
No. Nothing, yeah.
I mean, he has more, like, you could say that his name is successful with a bunch of projects that are not all related to one character.
I mean, who reads?
And that's cool.
Let's be honest.
Also, they're talking
Name
about,
10
like,
books.
Also,
I
they're
can.
talking about Neville. Yeah, is Neville? They're talking about Neville Long, the actor who played Neville Longbottom. I think that's the one who went into UFC.
What?
Yeah. The actor who played Neville got like super jacked
funny.
and went into like professional fighting, if I remember correctly.
So this says that she hasn't dropped in popularity with millennials born between 1981 and 1996.
Can we decide for once and for all when the hell the cutoff is for all of these generations? I'm so sick of the ages always being different depending on who the hell you talk to.
My cutoff is if you witness Will Smith being cool.
That's a fair point. Like, was
Yeah.
Will Smith? Oh, also, I pointed out, like, I posted a clip over the weekend, like, of an old Chris Rock stand-up routine, and I'm like, it's another thing you wouldn't be able to understand is how influential Chris Rock was on comedy back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He became kind of like a mainstream shill.
Bigger and blacker.
Well, yeah, but that was the special was called Bring the Pain, and then Bigger and Blacker was the album version of it. And there was also another one that based on the same special called Roll with the New that I had when I was very, very young and probably should not have been listening to such explicit comedy.
Absolutely.
And such, it definitely rewired my brain in an unhealthy way. Probably why I am the way I am now.
But I'm kind of confused about this polling. It says that this is about the popularity of one of her unauthorized biography books.
Yeah. And there's also that podcast
About
that's telling
her.
her life story right now too.
What is that called?
It's the one that her and there's like a biographer hosting it. I don't know the name of it, but it's about her basically talking about like everything that's happening to her. It's
From a
pretty much
neutral perspective? Or
I think it's it's pro Rowling.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting. She has like an interesting backstory. Wasn't she like previously homeless?
Yeah, Rowling.
At
Yeah,
one
I mean,
point,
yeah,
and
she basically like she wrote the book
Kind
out
of built
of
this from the ground up.
Yeah, but then there's also the crazy story that they were telling that her husband locked the pages to Harry Potter away and she had to sneak them out
What?
one by one to photocopy them, which
Okay.
always sounded fake to me, but I
No
can't
way.
confirm. Yeah, basically they're saying that like because her husband was emotionally abusive that he like locked away the book when it was like after it was written before it was published,
my
right?
goodness.
And she had to like photocopy the pages one by one.
This is the first guy who he censored Harry Potter before it was cool.
Yeah, basically. But like the idea was that
You're
he
not
was, like,
allowed to dream. Literally crushing her dreams.
he was emotionally abusive to her back then.
I'm not making fun of that,
No.
but that does sound rather fantastical.
Yeah, way to embellish.
It sounds like one of those things like maybe she had to like sneak, like she had multiple copies and she had to sneak a copy out. But what sounds great on paper is like, and every day I took 5 pages and I photocopied them one by
Come
one so I could
on.
escape like a CIA agent from my abusive husband. It just sounds a little over the top to me. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound real.
Yeah.
But she wins in the end because now she gets to ask for billions of dollars from a series that, let's face it, isn't going to do as well as the movies did. One, we'll never be able to see the sales figures or the figures anyways. We'll never be able to know because it'll be a streaming show and not a movie. So there will be no box office numbers to actually tabulate and figure out. We'll just have to take their word for it.
The buyer would be Warner Brothers.
Well, yeah, no, yeah.
And they're trying to buy Lucasfilm as well.
That's never going to
That's the rumor, but I mean,
Chat, what are your thoughts on Warner Brothers buying Lucasfilm? Do you think that's possible? I don't think that's possible.
you can only siphon so much out of properties like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially
What
with
is-
the damage that's been done
what
to
is
Lucasfilm.
any of these IPs? What are they worth after you have made it just an unfathomable amount of shitty content with them? Like,
So
you've ruined the value of Star Wars.
yeah, but the thing is, it does have a baseline profitability that's undeniable, and so there's this intrinsic marketing and accounting term that's called goodwill. I feel like I've discussed it on the show before, but that's when the brand recognition and the name reaches a point
Yeah.
that anything associated with it will also carry its good name. And so essentially that's what you're purchasing.
Plus, I mean, let's face it, Warner Brothers is like in debt, severely in debt. They've been trying to cut spending for the last 2 years. Zaslav is cutting spending left and right. They're in the middle of a merger. I don't think that they could ever afford to buy Lucas.
Yeah,
right now.
maybe not.
That doesn't seem reasonable to me.
I
And
Another thing-
why would Disney sell it? Like Disney doesn't seem to ever be hurt by any of this crap. Bad investor calls and all. It seems like nothing changes.
They're never gonna stop ruining the properties they've acquired. You're right. But another thing with millennials' opinions about J.K. Rowling, I would actually like to see survey data about this that's like beyond the biography or the podcast about her.
Man on the street interview. It would be interesting.
Like
to do
man on the street interviews. If they were like,
what are your thoughts on J.K.
like what are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling's comments about like
I wouldn't even
people
lead them like that. I would just say, what are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling to see if it even comes to their brain.
Or they might be like, who?
No. They
might even not know. I swear, because like if you go watch these like man on the street interviews, some people don't even know like how many states there are. Like I don't know. Like I feel like we are way more plugged in than we realize.
No, so people don't know who the president is.
Like
J.K. Rowling is more famous than the president.
No, Brad.
No,
Biden?
she is not.
The president,
especially because he's been VP before.
Then our current president, yes, I would say that she's better.
Her Harry Potter maybe, but
exactly.
J.K. Rowling absolutely not, especially since he's been VP.
Nah.
Before
under Obama.
I would love
now you're revealing just how like plugged into the Matrix
Boomer
you are.
Brett.
No, I think that J.K. Rowling's name. I bet you more people know J.K. Rowling's name than know Joe Biden's name.
Can you make a poll?
We should do that.
That cannot be.
Yeah. Chat. What are your thoughts?
So chat.
If we polled you guys, then yeah sure.
Yeah. Chat. Put a 1 if you guys think they would know Joe Biden more, and put a 2 if you think they would know J.K. Rowling more.
You could be right that it's like they know Harry Potter more than they know J.K. Rowling, but those names were synonymous with each other to me. So I really do think that more people know her name than Joe Biden's name.
In the globe.
Definitely in the globe. Her book has been translated into like hundreds of languages.
So.
But again, Harry Potter, the character, but the author, no.
And moreover, people aren't aware of her controversies unless they're chronically online.
So we're getting a lot of 2s, and I don't remember my options.
I don't even remember what the hell.
Another thing is, they're all like, this is
okay. Well.
Gibberish to me. But another thing is, if you do man on the street interviews, you're automatically getting a biased crowd because there are people who leave their house. So people who hate J.K. Rowling are going to be inside on the computer complaining about J.K. Rowling.
Props to people that do man on the street because they find single cell organisms whenever they go. They find the dumbest people.
I almost feel like it has to be fake, you know, but it's are they really that
heavily
dumb?
edited, and they just find they get 100 people, and I'm saying they get 100 people, and they find the dumbest ones, and those are the ones they end up posting.
But how do you come across anyone who doesn't know, like, I don't know what 19 plus 2 is?
It's like next level dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, do you need help? How are you gonna get home?
Yeah.
I'm polling the chat.
Yeah.
About what?
About JK, who's
I just did, but we forgot.
But everyone here knows both of these people, so
I'm asking for their opinion. Who they think is more famous.
I saw 5. I agree with that guy.
All right.
It's definitely Joe Biden, though.
I don't think so.
You mean the leader of the free world?
I mean,
chaka chip, baby. She's
the richest woman on planet Earth. Next to what's her name?
Wait, what?
She's like the richest woman on planet Earth, next to like Bezos' wife.
She's my favorite girl boss.
Richest is not the same as famous, you know.
It's literally the most famous book series in the last 100 years. Other like the most famous. Like, what is the most recent famous book series that outstripes it? Is there any?
Game of Thrones?
Dude, people are all voting for JK over Biden.
You guys are biased.
Look, this is a political arena that we live in here. A lot of people don't give a crap about politics, but did read Harry Potter.
They know who the president is.
They know the president is a thing. I don't know if they know who Joe Biden is. Just saying. I don't know. It could be biased, but I do think it's an interesting question. Maybe poll this on Twitter later and see what people say.
So if we surveyed all like millennials in a way and like found what they really thought of J.K. Rowling, it would still be that her popularity hasn't waned with them severely. or at least as much as like journalists would want you to think.
Okay.
But it's not because millennials are like based on like gender issues or something. It's just because normal people don't concern themselves with the niche like beliefs about gender ideology that an author of their favorite childhood series happens to have, you know, like that's not.
Yeah.
I still don't think that that's like a normal thing to concern yourself with, at least if you're a fan of the work.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to say J.K. Rowling?
What do you mean?
How I just said it?
Yeah.
We always get it wrong.
How you said it, I think.
No, but
Rowling.
the way we always say it, we always get it wrong.
Yep.
So I'm probably wrong.
What is it? Rolling?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's like some people say, I say Rowling because that's how I always said it, but some people say rolling. I don't know.
Left the Misfit said, you're talking about people raised in a single mom household and go through the public education system. I'd be surprised if they could tie their own shoes. Also, Harry Potter is the second best-selling book series after the Bible.
Okay, so you're saying that they're a single mother and they could barely tie their shoes, and you think they read? Checkmate.
J.K.
You know,
Rowling
like what
spoke to a
what
lot
are we
of people who
talking
don't-
about?
We're all talking past each other now.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
I'm more interested. Like now I want to know. Like
Maybe-
you could probably figure it out based on like search
You
results.
could say more
maybe?
people have heard of Harry Potter than Joe Biden.
Yes.
That I would believe.
As for her, look, she got a lot of traction in that because she was a female author, and that was a big deal.
I'll tell you what, nobody can name 10 J.K. Rowling books.
I could name the
Harry
first
Potter
7.
1, Harry Potter
Actually,
2, Harry Potter
I could
3.
probably do that, but I don't remember the name of the Cormoran Strike books, just the TV series.
What'd
So
you call me?
Exactly. Cormoran Strike.
Is that
That's her
her
detective
Robert
novel. Yeah.
Galbraith?
Oh.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, Brett, Game of Thrones was at its peak a phenomenon. The number of people who know the author of the books is probably in the low single digits. Rowling may have 10% awareness of the people who watch the movies at best.
I don't know.
And then John Smith said,
Jeez.
Mary, you're an evil hobbit. Loved you ruining those OnlyFans girls on the whatever podcast. How I found this. Wait, what?
How I found this
Hollywood. I'm a Gen Xer. Love it. They love it if they'd stop ruining classic movies with shitty reimaginings.
Yeah,
Same.
which is why you should
Me
watch.
too.
Which is why you should watch Dread, because Dread is not the original
I don't
version
know
of
if
it.
I
It's
like
not
being called an evil hobbit, but
He said it. He
I'll
said it
take
in the
it.
podcast.
Hey, he
but-
paid $20 fair and square.
And
to
there's-
insult.
that's fair and square.
And there's
yeah.
one more there from
Oh.
Hayden75.
Hayden75 said, Mary and Dane are harshly overestimating people's awareness. They read the most famous book. They know the author. Some people know the Biden name, but couldn't pick him out of a lineup, even though his picture is everywhere.
I would say that that Obama is more famous than she is, probably. But I don't buy that Biden is. I think
But
that a
if
lot
we're
of people
just
are,
going by, like, if you've heard of the person, maybe not if you know what they look like.
I'm still gonna go with I'm sticking with my vote here. But
I feel like
it's
no
interesting.
type of evidence will convince me.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to figure it out. I guess you could do it. Would you be able to do it with like search history? Is there a way to figure that out, like with actual data?
You need Pew research.
We
on
need
this
Pew. We need
issue.
Pew research to get in on this. So it'd be interesting to know. So, all right, but keep letting us know, guys, whether you think that Joe Biden is more famous or if you think that J.K. Rowling is more famous. Either way, she is more awesome and hilarious to talk about. Talking about Biden sucks.
I would
Talking
rather
about-
have her on the show
Yes.
than Joe Biden.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.